Ever since the 2023 Star Wars Celebration announcement of the Rey movie, I've seriously had my doubts that this movie would actually be made. In a lot of ways, I don't think that it really matters whether the movie gets made or not. We win either way. If it does get made and it has a budget of $300 million or maybe $400 or $500 million and it loses a lot of money, we still win. If it doesn't get made, we still win. Why? Because it proves that this character was never as popular as they said she was. And when it was announced that documentarian Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy was going to go and direct the Rey film, a woman who is known for activism and filmmaking,
I think at the heart of everything, I am a storyteller and an activist. And my body of work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it. It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there.
And absolutely zero formal training in filmmaking.
And I think that as a storyteller, I'm not sure if all of you know this, but I'm not a trained filmmaker. So I never went to film school. I went to Smith College and did my undergraduate and studied economics and political science like a good Pakistani girl.
And let's not forget this gem from 8 years ago.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Yes, this is the face of the person who will be directing the next Star Wars film. Great job, Disney. Well, maybe. And mind you, folks, if a man actually said something like this about women, he would be labeled a creep, and rightfully so. And I think that Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy is, quite frankly, no different. And it also doesn't help the fact that she's a part of the World Economic Forum. You know, the very organization that wants you to own nothing, live in a pod, and eat the bugs. Oh, by the way, the World Economic Forum has done their damnedest to try and bury the Great Reset ever since it kind of came out into popular parlance back in 2020. Oh, just as a side note, just to show you I'm not shitting you, I own Klaus Schwab's book on the Great Reset, which also came out after the pandemic. But I digress. Back to Star Wars. And it doesn't help that at the beginning of the year, she had this to say.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
And her comments got some pushback, and rightfully so, because Star Wars has been under the creative direction of women for pretty much close to a decade. Ever heard of Kathleen Kennedy and her story group, which is largely comprised of women? Yeah, sure, if you ignored Bryce Dallas Howard and Deborah Cho and Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, then yes, she would be the first female director to have any kind of creative control over a Star Wars property.
Oh, but they're talking about her being the first director of a Star Wars film.
Yeah, who cares? This is not groundbreaking or even noteworthy for that matter, so why bring it up? But last week, we got the announcement of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is going to begin production this year, 2024. But what about the Rey movie? Well, back on January 1st, and this was reported by Screen Rant, director Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy teases Star Wars New Jedi Order, with her phrasing hinting that production could begin soon. And when somebody says that something is going to happen soon, that's code for it's never going to happen. You know, much like that Rian Johnson trilogy and the Dan and Dave movies and Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. Yeah, because all those are still happening, right? You know, they never actually cancel anything. They just kind of soft cancel it by stop talking about it. And now we're hearing the upcoming Rey Star Wars movie delayed indefinitely. Wow, who didn't see that one coming? Now, mind you, when Disney made the announcement of the Rey Star Wars movie, they didn't have a colossal failure of a year at the box office. And the last movie that was put out by Lucasfilms was a massive failure, only netting $381 million worldwide, with a production budget of over $300 million. At least that's what they're reporting, and odds are it costs more. So not only do they not even break even, they lost money. Though I believe that Kathleen Kennedy is not getting fired anytime soon, I also believe that another movie put out by her is not coming anytime soon. Only time will tell. Now, The Reel is a website I'm not super familiar with, and I have to say when it comes to rumors about films, just take everything with a grain of salt, but this one I do tend to believe a little bit. So I'm usually not really keen on looking for Star Wars intel, but a well-informed source is giving me additional details on the current status of this film, and it's not good news.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
I've been told that Disney has delayed the film indefinitely, which is why they surprised everyone last week and decided to announce The Mandalorian and Grogu as the next Star Wars movie. They just don't have confidence that New Jedi Order will be happening in the near future. Now, personally, I think Mandalorian Season 3 was complete trash, and that, for the most part, the first season was mediocre Star Wars, but at least they're going with something that people mostly like. The problem seems to reside in the creative differences between screenwriter Stephen Knight and Lucasfilm. I'm told that a draft had been originally written for the film, but Lucasfilm gave him so many notes that he had to start from scratch. Now, there's been a lot of rumors that have been thrown around, so like I said, take everything you hear with a grain of salt. To make matters worse, there is a possibility that Knight might not be staying on board the project. His frustrations have grown, so he put Star Wars on the back burner and is now focused on the screenplay for his Peaky Blinders movie, which is supposed to begin production in the fall. These issues with Knight come only 2 years after development on the film started, and various drafts had circulated with different writers, including Damon Lindelof, the idiot behind Watchmen, and various other projects from Bad Reboot, and Justin Britt Gibson, both eventually exiting the untitled Rey Skywalker movie. Knight came on board soon after. So it looks like this movie has been doomed from the start. But like I said, why would you make a movie about a character who is so wildly unpopular? And of course, I know that there's going to be people showing up with, "Oh, these movies made billions of dollars." Yes, you are correct. Each one did bring in over $1 billion. But with each film that came out after The Force Awakens, they made less and less money. And if Disney actually played their cards right, they could have easily had a $3 to $4 billion movie when everything was said and done, but that's not the case. And if this Rey movie does actually see the light of day, I can guarantee you it's not going to make $1 billion. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to get the Captain Marvel treatment, where they go and spend over $300 million to make this movie and it doesn't make anything at the box office. Star Wars is a dead brand, and a lot of diehard fans, such as myself, just simply don't care anymore because apathy has set in. And it's a possibility that Mandalorian is the way to go at this point. And maybe, just maybe, if they keep the budget under $100 million, then this movie could potentially be profitable. Who's to say? Only time will tell. Anyway, folks, that is my take. What is yours? Do you think that this Rey movie will ever see the light of day? Me personally, I don't think it will. What are your thoughts on the Mando and Grogu movie? Is that something you're interested in seeing? Personally, for me, like I said, Star Wars apathy is set in, and I really just don't care anymore. While you're at it, make sure to hit that like button on your way out of here. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to go and check out another one of my videos that's popping up right about here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.